Hey everybody, welcome back to the third rapid review, and this is going to be the last helicopter in the series, and I will try to keep it under 15 minutes again so we can go over it and just quickly come to a conclusion whether it's worth it or not. This is the Miltech MH-60. It comes with three variants. You have the S or Sierra, which is a utility variant. You have the R, which is the anti-submarine warfare version, and you have the T as in Tango, which is the Coast Guard version. Each version is very different from the other, and each has its own subset of liveries. This is for the utility version, and if we go, for example, to the anti-submarine warfare, you can see it's a very different model. Because of its role, the colors for this version are a little bit more monotonous. But for example, for the Coast Guard version, besides the standard Coast Guard colors, you also have this a very traditional black and yellow, which is very cool. And they added in a fictional Canadian and fictional UK. So it helps. There's a total of, I believe, 39 liveries stretched across all of these variants. All of them do have the modern instrumentation, and depending on which one you have, the Sierra or the Tango, you get the big wheels. If you have the Romeo, you get smaller wheels. So we're just going to take this one just because I like the colors. To speed this a little bit along, I'm just going to start on the helipad, and this bypasses the startup procedure a little bit. And the reason for that is the startup procedure is great, it's realistic, so it takes time. And let me go ahead and show you why. Let me reset the camera for a second there. So let me go ahead and get out. Unlike the other helicopters we looked at, this one has static covers, engine covers, everything that you can think of. With this one, you can open and close the covers. And as you can tell, this model is absolutely gorgeous. You can tell that there's a clear quality difference, and again, this is made specifically for Flight Simulator 24. So it's been upgraded, it's fully compatible, it's currently on sale for $27, but regular price is $38, so there's a significant difference. There's also a significant quality difference after numbers. And once you're in the interior itself, this is with the engine started, so the displays are all lit up. Because it's for 2024, you do get your EFB directly accessible in the cockpit, which is great. We'll go over the EFB in a minute. The displays are fantastic. Every button that you can think of works, and that's why I said we're going to bypass the startup procedure. It is a slightly longer procedure to get this thing going. So I just wanted to make sure that we actually had some time on the stick rather than spending all that time looking at all of the switches to get us going. When you look in the back, depending on your variant, obviously your back will look different, but you can, if the stretcher's in your way, just click it away. So it is detailed, it has a lot of options, it has a lot of features. Perfect. When we look at the EFB itself, let's go ahead and pop that out. Now that I would consider a bug. You can see the EFB flashing while it's off my screen, so we're gonna move this in front of it so we don't have to look at it. Like I mentioned, the airplane comes with a checklist, and the checklists are extensive. That is not a criticism. That is the way it should be. And so when you take your time and you want to play more realistic, going through the full startup procedure is very satisfying, very enjoyable, just all around perfection. Feels like it's just perfection. So we've gone over the fact that there's 3 variants. It's currently on sale for $27. It is that is compatible with Miltech's Mission Hub. Now, it is another $12. I do not have Mission Hub. If you're into that kind of thing and you have multiple of their products, this might be something that you're interested in. The name kind of gives away what it is. Mission Hub. Per their own description, it is a sandbox for objective-driven flying. So it contains missions. You don't just fly around aimlessly, you will actually be able to fly missions, and the missions are designed to work with these helicopters and aircraft in mind. So you can actually do, rescue missions and use the hoist, that kind of stuff. Again, that is an additional $12. Per their own description, the mission types they have are firefighting, search and rescue, anti-submarine warfare, vertical replenishment, cargo transport, shipborne operations, and they note that they'll be adding aerial refueling, surveillance, reconnaissance, and tactical campaigns. Whether that's worth it or not for you is a choice that you get to make. I did not buy the Mission Hub, so I won't make any judgments on that. That said, I can judge this thing because here we are. The model is gorgeous. It is a steep price, granted, but there are very few helicopters, as it is in Flight Simulator 24, and there are very few good ones. So let's go ahead and see if we can gently take off here. Did recently install, for the curious souls, the chase plane. So I'm still getting used to how the cameras work. But one of the cool things, let me see if I got the correct button, is see. Just goes through this. I think that is so much fun. Especially on longer flights, and especially if you're on cruise control, being able to set it to the cinematic camera feels like a real boon, because you just get to enjoy it from all angles. And we're going to go ahead and just switch to the interior. We have enough altitude, and ooh, there's the sphere over Las Vegas. Make sure I have my views set correctly. Cool. We'll stay over the airport a little bit and head out towards Snooty. Now, granted, I've never flown an MH-60. The best way I can describe how this flies is smooth as butter. It's almost like flying an airplane itself. It is very soft, very gentle. It makes you feel like you can't do any wrong with it, which I'm sure I could. And while we're going, and you look around the interior, it is just absolutely gorgeous. And I can definitely see the appeal in adding, the mission hub to it, and adding some more interactivity for it. However, that again is an additional $12, which is a little steep on top of the already $27 on sale, or $38 when not on sale. That said, this is far and away a much, much better helicopter than anything I've seen so far. Sound design is really nice. Quite literally, I have no notes on this thing. Oh god, that is terrifying how far the distance it is. Yeah, I don't know what to tell anyone else except if this is unlike the previous, the Cohensim helicopters that we looked at, again, those are 2024 compatible per their own website, but not designed for 2024. So there is a significant difference there. But even so, the control scheme, the cameras, everything is just the sound design. This is a number of steps above. Look at that. Easy filling. I have a feeling in the cockpit you're going to hear it screaming that we're going overspeed. But honestly, it wouldn't surprise me, but it flies so easy that you wouldn't even realize that you're making a mistake because it doesn't punish you at all for it. Let's go ahead and take some of the speed out of it and see if we can get ourselves closer to the ground. If you look through the window, you do actually see that there is a pilot. There we go. We are at a standstill, so we can very gently lower ourselves. Now I fly with a VKB Gladiator. With their small throttle module attached to it. It is a very simple stick, but it works really well. And we are a little bit on an incline, but that's okay. I'm gonna fall in the ring. Look at that though. Do a quick check through the window. When we were flying and the pilot was actually in there, you saw the pilot. Now that the pilot's out, I think you don't see the pilot. That's what I expect to see. Door. I'm comparing the sound with the door open and the door closed. It is quieter. And the last check. Let's see if we can fly with the door open. When I did that on the A32 mid-flight, You gotta remember that I play on a very average system. So you're not gonna see ultra, 4K, whatever here. But it's it really is. That puts us at 15 minutes, so we'll get to the conclusion right now. Gorgeous helicopter. Everything is there. Checklist to the sound, to every possible button that you would want to press. This thing is perfection. 10 out of 10. No notes. If you are looking to it's in 124. This is going to be it's estimated. And again, it's going to be 8% on the Miltech store. So price right now is $26.59 with Easy Shipping at 20%. But otherwise, when sale, $38 for this things. Cool. I'm gonna cut it there. I'm gonna keep flying for a little while. Thank you for watching. And again, 10 out of 10. If you're only gonna get one helicopter, let it be this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.